So this is going to be kind of a continuation on the prior conversation. So I'm just going to pass this off to you.
Okay. Well, this is sort of a part B of the initial discussion. So the initial discussion is, again, we're trying to, one of the things that we're trying to establish, just based on some questions that we've had, some feedback that we've had on some recent articles, some recent videos, is about programming strategy and how do we know essentially what to keep in a program, what to sort of disregard, and we don't have to keep into a program, and what the ultimate on that, I guess. Um, and so we started talking about like some what we consider some foundational inputs, which are on the isometric side, right? So HIMA, PIMA, oscillatory isometric, and considering that those are the foundation of what we call reactive strength, which is probably the most undertrained, underutilized part of programming. So,
Hmm.
and it's obviously why we get the most questions about that. So where we left off the last video was just a discussion on how do we use those, in what order do we use them, at what frequency do we use them? And you had mentioned that you use oscillatory isometric muscle actions pretty early, and that helps you kind of rein in how you potentially move into HEMAs or PIMAs or whatever the case is. And so what we've established is that of those foundational inputs, amongst other pieces of information that obviously we would have at point A, once you get into point B, the oscillatory isometric muscle actions become a feedback mechanism.
Hmm.
And we use the
Hmm.
case of the hamstring trying to create a damping effect on the hamstring. Maybe we see and appreciate through palpation and visual observation that there's only a certain region of the hamstring that's able to create that damping effect. Maybe the client reiterates or the athlete reiterates, hey, I only feel that damping effect in this region of tissue. So now we have a region of tissue that's otherwise exposed to
Hmm.
load. So we need to determine now, is that being exposed from a bottom up perspective, or is it being exposed from a top down perspective?
Hmm.
Because answering that question helps us make the decision of, is this tissue, and in this case the hamstring, being stress shielded, which would be a shielding from the bottom up, or is
Hmm.
this hamstring tissue being neurologically shielded from the top down,
This is huge. This is huge.
right? Uh, and so if it's being stress shielded from the bottom up, that should give us the necessary information based on that feedback to then begin the initiation of more HEMA based tissue loading, progressing that tissue loading at length, which ultimately then puts us on the linear loading progression, which would be then loading to length, loading through length, eccentrically, so on and so forth, as we've outlined. Correct?
Correct.
If it's being neurologically shielded, and what I mean by that in this particular scenario is that